back to today's lesson. And in this lesson, we will be talking about be form verbs. There are precisely 8 different verbs under be form verbs. They are am, is, are, was, were, be, been, and being. Under be verbs, we have these 8 different forms of verbs. And today we will be looking at present and past forms of verbs. Now, when I say present form of verbs, we actually use am, is, and are for the present tense. And was and were are generally used for the past tense. So, how do we use am, is, and are for the present tense? Now, when I say am, is, and are used for the present tense, it actually means that present tense, when we use different nouns in the present tense, we will use each of these verbs along with them. Now, I is a pronoun, and with I we only use am. For example, I am busy, or I am working, I am a student, whatever it is, with I we always use the verb am. And where do we use is? Is always used with singulars. So with singular nouns, we tend to use is. When I say singulars, it actually means that we're talking about one single entity. For example, Chennai. Chennai is just the name of one single city. Chennai is a beautiful city. Now, when I'm talking about one single entity, which is singular, we always use is as the verb. And additionally, we use is when we talk about he, she, it. When we use these pronouns as well, we tend to use the word is in the singular form in the present tense. Alright? The next is are. Where do we use are? Are is generally used in the plural form. With all plurals, we always use are as the verb. For example, the girls are chatting. So, when we say girls, which is plural, we're talking about not one girl but many girls, we use are as the verb in the present tense. So, this is an instance where we use are along with plural forms. The girls are chatting. Now, we also use plurals when we talk about certain different pronouns. For example, like we looked in the previous session when we were talking about have and do form verbs, we use this particular be form verb also with the other pronouns like you, we, and they. With you, we, and they as well, we use are. For example, you are beautiful. We are happy. They are annoying. So with all these pronouns as well, we generally tend to use are as the verb. Next, moving on to the past tense form of it. Where do we use was and where do we use were? First, was. Now we already know that both of these verbs are used in the past form. Now talking about was is generally used with singulars. Now I told you in the previous lecture itself that we use verb with ds with singulars. So likewise, we use was with all singulars and with I. This is an important addition that you should remember. With I as well, we use was. I was playing. Alright? I was playing. I was playing in the past tense. When I say I, we always use was along with it. And additionally, with all singulars, for example, Chennai was a beautiful city. When I talk about Chennai in the past form, we say Chennai was a beautiful city. Chennai was earlier called Madras. So all of these ones, when we talk about the past form of any singular, we use was. The next is where. Where do we use this? Now, this is actually used with all plurals. And like we know, with you, we, and they. With these three pronouns as well, which are plural, you, we, and they refer to groups of people. So with this as well, we tend to use were. For example, they were hungry. The boys were studying. Alright. So these are instances where you use were with plurals in the past form of it. Yes, with this we've come to the end of this lecture on be verbs, and we've looked at 5 different be verbs. We will be looking at the other be verbs like be, been, and being when we do tenses in particular. When we do perfect tense and each of these tenses, we will be talking about the rest of the be verbs as well. But for now, please remember that in the present form we use am, is, and are, and for the past form we always use was and were.